Welcome back, Amir.
Thank you so
A few
much.
days back, you pretty much told us we were going to get a performance. You're going to put it on. How happy are you with the violence you delivered and getting that finish at the end? That was great.
I'm very happy with my performance. Like I said, I wanted to come here to show not the same Amir. I've been already submitted two black belts before, so I wanted to put on like a really good performance, like to show like I'm different level than these guys, and that I'm ready for the top five. I'm ready for that belt, and I hope you guys saw that. I hope you saw that I have knockout power too. I can put people to sleep standing up, and I can put people to sleep on the ground. So just keep them coming, and I keep taking them out.
How much of a factor was the whole switching opponents? Because you game plan for one person, now you got to reset, or part of your evolution is just to be ready for anything and everything?
It's it's to be ready for all of them, and I feel I'm ready for all of them. Anyways, my game doesn't change. That's who I am, and whoever they put in front of me, if I can't take them down, I'm gonna fight with them until they give me the takedown. So nothing really changes. But of course, it's always frustrating when you find out like several times that your opponents have changed. But it is what it is. In the end of the day, I'm gonna go out with a win.
Excellent. And you had just a highlight reels back to back. That uppercut was super pretty. That two-piece combination. Walk me through the finish. How did you guys see that? What did your corner tell you to look for?
Since he's like a on short notice opponent, like I wanted to feel him out the first round, and after the first round, when I gathered his data, I knew I was open. I had great corners with me, so I could just put in the 1-2 in the beginning, and the third round, it was time to just take him out, and that's when the uppercut just came.
Excellent. And speaking of your corner, we just had, last weekend, Shabazian looking great with Mr. Cooper. You got Coach Dewey Cooper, other killers in there. How big is that to put a great team together and that you be the centerpiece to go ahead and just fire on all cylinders and continue climbing up the rankings?
I have a big faith in my team. I have the legend Dewey Cooper, who is in the corner of, like you said, he was in the corner of Edmund Shabazian. He's in the corner of the heavyweight champ, Francis Ngannou. And I have the Bashrat brothers with me too. They've been with me for 10 years now. So it's a solid team, and we've been doing this for a while now. And it's, just aim for the stars, We're just going to keep climbing. The three of us fought on I'm talking pubs, like sport clubs, like back in London when no one used to see us. We had different opponents coming on fight day, or like on literally when you start warming up, they used to tell us your opponent have been changed. You're fighting another guy. So we used with this. It's just like a dream come true, to see all of us, all three of us, like we talked 10 years ago, win the UFC, and we're all doing great.
So you guys started from the bottom. Now you're here. And elaborate on that a little bit. How is it to just go from the pubs and go from the places to where nobody even recognizes you to now that you're building your star power and you're on the biggest stage when it comes to mixed martial arts?
We made a lot of sacrifices. I grew up in Sweden, so when I moved to London, I met the Bashrat brothers, so we started training, and we didn't really know how good we were. Like, we just knew, like, we three, we always trained the hardest, We always were super competitive with each other. Like, when we spar or wrestle or roll, it's always 110%. So we knew, like, us three have something the others don't, but we didn't really know. And a year ago, like, when COVID, like, just settled down a bit and everything calmed down, we told them, listen, let's go fly to Vegas, see what's up, take it to the next level. And since we moved here, we're all three in the UFC, all of us getting back-to-back wins, so life is good. We're coming for those belts, not only one belt.
That sounds great, man. And, do you think obviously there's levels to this, but what is the hesitancy in other fighters that just stay grounded, that don't want to evolve, progress, or maybe there's a hesitance? Because clearly you said, look, we're packing the bags, we're doing what we need to do if we want to get to the top.
I can only speak for myself, but being comfortable. I would say being comfortable. A lot of people are comfortable where they are. I've never been comfortable. I fled Iraq when I was in the age of 7. At the middle of the night, I went to Syria. Haven't seen my father. From Syria, I went to Sweden at the age of 8. in Sweden, I lived alone as a teenager, 15 years old. I lived completely alone until the age of 18. And when I turned 18, I moved to London for 10 years. Same thing, new country, can't speak the language, no friends. Kept fighting, kept trying, got into the UFC now in Vegas. So this is another step on the way. For me, it's nothing new. I've always been uncomfortable. I thrive there. So when they give me an opponent on short notice, I just thrive under pressure. So I know that. So for me, it doesn't really matter what kind of pressure or how uncomfortable it is. I'm always going to take it to new levels. And you're going to see that next year.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. And last for me, hopefully, I mean, there was some brutal knockouts here, some head kicks, some finishes. How confident are you that you're going to get that 50K and get the car fixed and all that good stuff?
You guys going to interview Dana later on, right? So I don't know who does it, who asked him, but make sure you mention my name. In my debut, I pulled the first triangle of the year on a black belt. Submitted him in the first round. I didn't get the 50 Gs. It's okay. I was happy over my debut. My last fight, another black belt. I submitted in the first round with a rear naked choke. I didn't get the 50 Gs. It was the only submission on the card. And now I thought I need maybe to switch it up. So I knocked out a black belt instead. So I hope they give me the 50 Gs. Like I said, you can ask whoever in Vegas, my car literally broke down in the middle of the fight week, and it made my life so stressful. A big shout out to the UFC fighter JP Bice, who helped me a lot during this process, driving me, bringing me, helping me with the car during fight week. So the Prince can't roll around without a nice car in Vegas, so I need that 50 Gs.
All right, my man. Well, I hope you get it. Congrats on the win. Long live the Prince.
Thank you.
Just one for me. How special is, you mentioned getting the KO. Looking over your record, it's been like 7 years since you've had a win with stoppage. How grateful is that? Does it make it a little more extra special?
Because I've been putting in the work with Dewey Cooper and Black Cobra MMA. So we've been working on the punching power. We've been working on the striking. So it's more a proof of that. But for me, as long as I get a finish, as long as I step in the octagon, choke them out, knock them out, ground and pound them out, anyhow I can get a finish, I get a finish.
Do you feel like that's where the biggest growth in your game recently has been, is the striking? And do you feel now that the division really needs to pay attention to your striking as well as your ground game?
I wish they could see more of my ground game, you know. My ground game is evolving every day. I have Professor X back in Sweden. That's my first ever coach who trained me from scratch. When I say from scratch, I was just a skinny 13-year-old kid. And this man is in a wheelchair. That's why we call him Professor X. But he's a genius, exactly like John Danaher, and he's been teaching me everything I know on the ground. So I have a lot more tricks up my sleeve, and I can't wait to show you guys next year what I can do.
And if you get the 50 Gs, are you just fixing the car or are you getting a brand new car?
No, I'm definitely getting a brand new car. That car is done. I can't fix it. Apparently, I blew up the engine, so I'm not that lucky. So I definitely need a new car.
Congrats on the victory.
Thank you.
Real quick, what would the new car be?
Do you recommend any? I'm not a big fan of cars or like nice cars, but American Muscle would be very nice.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Cool.
All done? Thank you.